Welcome to your OSHA-mandated flammable liquids training. Improper handling of flammables brings a great risk of fire. During storage, proper venting in the right vessel is a primary concern. During transfer, associates must watch for spills. When a flammable is spilled, vapors begin to form immediately. The vapors are the fire hazard rather than the liquid. They continue to build until the liquid is removed, requiring prompt cleanup operations. When using a flammable liquid, associates should make sure they have transferred the liquid to an approved container and that it is in a manageable quantity at the workstation. By the end of this training, you should be able to differentiate between the four categories of flammable liquids and their flash points, explain techniques for labeling, storage use, spill cleanup, and disposal, identify proper storage. Let's start by understanding the four categories of flammable liquids and their flash points. OSHA classifies flammable liquids in four categories. In this section, we will touch on the four categories and flash points, along with looking at an example of each liquid. Category 1 flammable liquids are having flash points between 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit and having boiling points at or below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. An example of this type of liquid is liquid propane or butane. Category 2, having flash points below 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit and having boiling points above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. An example of this would be gasoline. Category 3, having flash points at 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit but below 140 degrees Fahrenheit. An example of this category of liquid is benzaldehyde, used in industry for its organic nature and its use in perfumes, dyes, and as a flavoring. Category 4, having flash points at or above 140 degrees Fahrenheit and at or below 199.4 degrees Fahrenheit. When a liquid with a flash point greater than 199.4 degrees Fahrenheit is heated to use within 30 degrees of its flash point, handle it as a category flammable liquid. An example of category flammable liquids is diesel or fuel oil. Flammable liquids give off ignitable vapors. Therefore, wherever flammables are located, associates must be aware of ignition sources. Even static electricity can ignite a flammable vapor. In addition, nearly all flammable liquid vapors are heavier than air and will accumulate when they escape from a container. These vapors are dangerous when they begin to accumulate, but when they accumulate sufficiently, they spread out and may find an ignition source. These ignition sources might be cigarettes, a hand tool that sparks, a cutting torch, or an operating motor. Precautions should be taken to prevent these fire hazards, so take caution when working with or in a close vicinity to them. A flash point is the lowest temperature at which the vapors will catch fire. In storing and using flammable liquids, it is important to recognize what this flash point is and ensure that the appropriate precautions are taken. This measure provides and indicates how flammable a substance is. Typically, as technicians, you do not normally operate in these conditions, but it is completely possible that you can be exposed to them at our customers' locations. Please recognize the dangers when they may be present. Manufacturing plants use flammable liquids in a manner that is incidental to its primary operation. Stores flammable liquids in two ways: reserve storage in drums and operational storage in small quantities for use at workstations. For reserve storage safety, as soon as a drum is unloaded, the bung cap should be removed and a drum vent screwed in. This prevents pressure buildup in the drum if exposed to heat. Proper vents also incorporate emergency relief devices, which blow out under extreme pressure. Drums should be connected to a grounding system. This eliminates static electric buildup when dispensing from the drum. If the plant you are in does not have a drum storage room, drums should be stored in a safety cabinet. They're available in sizes to hold drums vertically and horizontally. Transfer of flammable liquids refers to their removal from storage to where they will be used. Liquids can be dispensed from drums by two methods: gravity flow for drums stored horizontally and pump methods for drums stored vertically. For gravity flow, liquids must be dispensed using self-closing valves. Liquid should be dispensed in a safety can. A drip can should be placed under the valve to catch spills. The receiving container must be bonded to the grounding drum to draw off any static electrical charge. The pump method empties the drum almost completely and saves space because drums are stored vertically. You may encounter a mobile solvent tank or liquid caddy. They're used to distribute flammable liquids to workstations using large production line equipment. They are equipped with rubber wheels and measuring pumps and a self-bonding hose. Areas where flammable liquids are transferred from one container to another must be protected from ignition sources by distance or fire-resistant construction, have drainage to other methods to control spills, have natural or mechanical ventilation. Container labels must be legible, with the type of liquid standing out so that it is easily recognized. This is very important to know if the containers are being disposed of and or repurposed. Always know what you're dealing with. A very small amount can be dangerous to you. Store flammable liquids in approved safety cans. At the workstation, flammable liquids should be stored in approved safety cans and tanks, which should be kept closed. There are many to choose from. Flammable liquids should be stored in a safety cabinet at the workstation or outside in the flammable storage lockers, if not in a safety can. When flammable liquids are in use at individual workstations, the total of all flammables in use outside the storage area shall not exceed the sum stated in 1910.106 in the OSHA guidelines. 25 gallons of Category 1 flammable liquids in containers, 120 gallons of Category 2, 3, or 4 flammable liquids in containers, or 660 gallons of Category 2, 3, and 4 flammable liquids in a single portable tank. Disposing of waste flammable liquids requires as much caution and handling as do any of the other stages. Oily, solvent-soaked rags can easily start a fire through spontaneous combustion. To prevent this, specially designated waste cans should always be used for temporary storage. These cans have spring-loaded lids and a raised bottom with vent holes to disperse heat. If these are not available in your trucks or vans, please return them to the shop as soon as possible to avoid any possible danger. For removing flammable liquids from the workstation for disposable, drain cans and liquid disposal cans offer the greatest degree of safety. It is the vapors rather than the liquid itself that burn. When the liquid is spilled, vapor release begins immediately and continues until the liquid is removed. Incidental spills require a prompt cleanup operation. Specially developed absorbent materials have been developed for incidental spill cleanup. These products are offered in pillows, pads, sheets, tubes, and other shapes to fit all cleanup needs. Once the absorbent material is saturated, it should be placed in a large disposal drum and sealed with a drum cover. If a spill or release requires an emergency response, do not respond if you have not received specialized HAZWOPER training. Instead, leave the area and from a safe place, call Crystal Clean, and then notify your supervisor. Crystal Clean's number is listed in your safe work procedures for all spills. Now that you've completed this training, you should be able to differentiate between the 4 categories of flammable liquids and their flash points, explain techniques for labeling, storage, use, spill cleanup, and disposal, identify proper storage. This concludes your OSHA mandated training. Thank you and have a safe day, every day, all day.